on. Good morning. Time is now 11:01 a.m. Today's date is September 26, 2023. This is the time and place for our regularly scheduled business meeting here at the Public Service Commission. We are in the Bollinger Room at the offices of the PSC. I call this meeting to order. Would my colleagues join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, thank you, colleagues. I would note for the record that Commissioner Pinocci, myself, and Commissioner Bukacek are present in the Bollinger Room this morning. Commissioner Fielder, I expect, will be joining us at some point, and Commissioner O'Donnell is excused. We do have quorum. Montana Public Service Commission welcomes public comment on any matter that's on today's agenda or on any matter within the jurisdiction of the Montana PSC. Are there any public commenters in the room? Please come forward to the microphone. Please state and spell your name for the record. Well, Ms. Wilson, how are you? Is the blue light on?
There.
Very good. All right.
Hello, Chair Brown, members of the commission. My name is Kate Wilson, and I am the pretty new Montana liaison for Bonneville Power. So I just wanted to come in person and introduce myself. I know I send you emails about kind of what's going on in the region that I think you might be interested in, but basically I serve as the point of contact for state agencies, the governor's office, yourselves, legislators, congressionals, when it comes to matters of Bonneville, the Columbia system at large, energy policy or programs, and happy to help with anything or answer questions as they come up. And that's kind of it today. So
Quick question for you. Are you based here out of Helena?
I'm in Missoula.
Very good.
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you for all you do. And we look forward to working with you, Ms. Wilson. Is there any other public commenters in the room? Other public commenters in the room? Seeing none. Are there any public commenters online? I'm getting the wave off. No public commenters online. All right. Announcements. There are no changes to the agenda this morning. So let's roll then right into our action items. Action item number 1 is approval of the commission minutes for the week of September 18th, 2023. Is there a motion? Mr. Bukacek?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the commission minutes for the week of September 18th, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Pinocci has seconded. So we have motion and second. Discussion, changes, revisions? Seeing none, all those in favor of Commissioner Bukacek's motion to approve the commission minutes for the week of September 18, 2023 as drafted, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. Seeing no opposition, motion carries 3-0. All right, let's move into our work session items then. Docket item number 1 is work session item number 1 is docket 2023.09.085. This is a commission initiated matter. This is a consideration of the sunset repeal of optional filing standards. We're here to consider repealing the rules compromising Title 38, Chapter 5, Subchapter 6 of the Montana Administrative Rules. These are optional filing standards for electric, gas, water, and sewer utilities. Ms. Webster.
Good morning, President Brown and commissioners. Before you is a notice of proposed repeal with no public hearing contemplated. Staff recommends approval of this draft notice. This notice is intended as a matter of housekeeping to clean up administrative rules that have been on in our administrative rules for quite some time. They comprise Title 38, Chapter 5, Subchapter 6, which is optional filing standards for electric, gas, water, and sewer utilities. Per the terms of these rules themselves, the last rule in the chapter states that these rules are temporary in nature and shall expire 96 months after they were implemented. These rules went into effect at the end of February 1992. They were the result of a joint petition from Montana Dakota Utilities and the Montana Power Company in 1991 to have this alternate form of rate making that would take into account actual as well as historic cost of service data. The commission implemented these rules based on comment from the utilities and the Montana Consumer Council. Ultimately, staff's understanding is that none of the utilities actually elected to participate in these standards. The utilities had to elect to participate within 24 months. And so these rules have been on the books since 1992, and per the terms of the rule, were supposed to have been repealed anytime after the year 2000. So we're cleaning up our rules at this time and recommend repealing the subchapter. I'd be happy to stand for questions if you have any.
Thank you. Colleagues, I'll move to approve the draft notice proposed repeal and authorize staff to make any non-substantive changes required for publication in the Montana Administrative Register and to file the notice with the Secretary of State. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, we have a motion second. Discussion. I would just note, Ms. Webster, first, thank you for your great work on this matter. I would just note that today's consideration of this rule repeal is a continuation of what we have undertaken here at the commission the last 2 years to do a thorough review of our administrative rules and our policies and regulations to determine what, if any, of our prior rulemakings were either antiquated or no longer necessary. So you could say this is our mini version of the red tape initiative that was enacted by Governor Gianforte. And clearly, since this proposed rule and its content have never been utilized and in fact expired almost 23 years ago, I think it's appropriate that we probably repeal it. Additional discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of my motion to approve the draft notice and to file the notice with the Secretary of State signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signified by saying no. Seeing no opposition, motion carries 3-0. All right, thank you, Ms. Webster. All right, let's move into work session item number 2. This is docket 2023.09.084. This is Montana Dakota Utilities Company, aka MDU. We are asked to act on an interim order for purchase gas cost tracking adjustment and to consider approving MDU's request for an interim natural gas service rate adjustment to become effective as of October 1st, 2023. Ms. Webster.
Natural gas service rates for customer classes, including residential and general service, optional seasonal, contracted demand, and small and large interruptible customers. Montana Dakota Utilities proposes a rate decrease for the residential and general service classes, a decrease for contracted demand, and a decrease for small and large interruptible. The draft order in front of you on page 2 has a chart of the proposed changes. The only increase will be a 70-cent increase for optional seasonal customers. This increase is based on the cost of gas, purchased gas that Montana Dakota Utilities has acquired for its customer service, as well as an adjustment to the Montana Consumer Council and commission taxes, as well as the unreflected gas costs. The commission has discretion to change these interim rates on a final order, subject to rebate or surcharge plus interest. Grant, do you have anything to add?
Mr. Fink.
Just one thing that Amanda said, just wanted to reiterate that this is a pass through to the customers of the gas cost. Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion, Commissioner Panoche?
Thank you, Mr. President. I make a motion to support staff recommendations.
Is there a second?
I second.
Commissioner Bukacek has seconded. So we have a motion and second. Discussion, Commissioner Panoche.
No discussion, Mr. President.
One question, just for public information. It's my understanding as a whole, if we approve this interim rate adjustment, it will result generally in a decrease for MDU customers, correct?
Correct. As I said, the largest classes of customers will see a decrease. There's a small class of optional seasonal customers that will see an increase. Mr. Fink, I don't know if you could speak a little bit to the optional seasonal customers.
Yeah, President Brown, commissioners, there are approximately 5 optional seasonal customers, and their usage of deck therms is very little. And so they're not affected in the realm of as a whole, but they are still affected on a smaller scale.
I must confess, Mr. Fink, I've never heard the term optional seasonal customer. Could you explain what that is?
Sure, certainly, President Brown, commissioners. Optional seasonal customers, they're in the firm class, which includes the residential and general service, optional seasonal, and contracted demand. But the optional seasonal class, they use gas from, I believe it's October 1 through end of March. So it's an optional seasonal. And so they typically use gas during the colder months.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Fink. Additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Commissioner Panoche's motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying no. Seeing no opposition, motion carries 3-0. All right, thank you, Mr. Fink, Ms. Webster. All right, that concludes our work session items this morning. Just a couple general announcements. On Thursday, the 28th, 2 days from now, the Commission will be appearing before the Legislative Interim Telecommunications Committee at the Capitol Building. We will be giving our report at 9:30 a.m. And then on Friday, Commission staff will be presenting to the Select Committee on Energy Resource Planning and Acquisition on integrated resource planning and how it works in Montana. That will be at 9 a.m. for those that are interested. Our next commission business meeting will return to the regular time of 9:30 a.m. And would be held Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. Seeing no further business to come before the commission, time is now 11:13 a.m. I will adjourn today's meeting.